There are hundreds of Pokemon in the Pokemon world. Some of them evolve twice, some evolve only once, and others don't evolve at all. These have been blessed by Arceus with perfection from the moment they hatch. So that got me thinking, can I beat Pokemon SoulSilver using only single stage Pokemon? And can I do that in a hardcore Nuzlocke? Rules for that are on the screen, so let's get into the adventure. We begin in New Bark Town. We enter Elm's laboratory where he offers to give us a starter. Unfortunately, all of these Pokemon evolve and are thus imperfect. I pick Totodile to use for HMs and name him Adam, the worst companion. We then head back home because we forgot our phone. Now our journey can truly begin. There are some light plot happenings here, but I don't have a legitimate encounter yet, so let's see what we can find. Exploring Dark Cave, our first legit encounter appears. Dunsparce. Adam weakens her, and I manage to catch her. Her name will be Rose, and now the run can officially begin. We then head to the ruins of Alph and catch an unknown named Mickey. Unfortunately, they have the ghost type hidden power, which is remarkably unuseful, even for an unknown. Now it's time to challenge Falkner. But I really only have Rose and her rage to take him down. And it works perfectly. Pidgey gets off 2 sand attacks, but Rose gets several attack boosts in the interim. Then Pidgeotto neglects to use Roost. He even conveniently misses the tackle, giving Rose plenty of time to defeat the stupid birds. Elm calls as we leave the gym about the Pokemon egg we retrieved earlier. But unless you're my wife or my mother, don't call me without texting first. Goodbye and good riddance, sir. On Route 32, we defeat a fisherman who then asks for my number. I give it to him because I'll need it for my next encounter. He calls me later when a school of quillfish appears in the lake, so I fish one out and catch her. This is Harkness, and I'm excited to have her on the team. We arrive in Azalea Town and meet an old man named Kurt. He leads the charge to Slowpoke Well, where Team Rocket has invaded. The two of us send them packing using Rose's relentless rage, and Kurt offers to make us Pokeballs with apricorns we find. Neat. Now we can challenge Bugsy for our second badge. I lead with Rose again. Scyther uses U-turn to switch out for Metapod, while Rose curls up in the fetal position. But this was just a ploy to set up a Miltank sweep. Rose uses Rollout to bowl over Metapod, Scyther, and Kakuna. She even scores a crit on the final roll to add insult to injury. Don't sleep on Dunsparce, y'all. She might just be my new favorite Johto Pokemon. We then encounter our rival as we leave town. He's called Darwin because evolution is our true nemesis here. Harkness struggles to defeat Ghastly even after it cuts its HP to use Curse. But then Rose pulls off another rollout sweep to take down his evolved Abomination and Zubat. After the battle, he laments that he hates weak Pokemon. Well then, why do you use Pokemon that have to evolve to be strong? The strongest Pokemon are perfect as they are, and thus need not evolve at all. Like these Farfish owned by the local Kindler. Perfect little ducks. In Ilex Forest, a strange man teaches Rose and others how to headbutt trees, which is the start to a little catching spree. So join me as we head back to Azalea Town, knock a Heracross out of a tree, catch him, and name him Jones. That backtracking helps us get our steps in and find Donna the Kangaskhan through the Pokewalker. Our next stop is south of Goldenrod on Route 34, where we catch a Ditto and name them Sarah Jane. Then we head north to Route 36 and catch a Stantler. Her name is Williams. Our last stop is the National Park, where we partake in the bug catching contest. But we don't win, so insert complaint about how the contest is scored. Anyway, welcome Amy Pond to the team. After some grinding at the game corner, we challenge Whitney. Jones boosts his attack with Swords Dance before quickly dispatching her lead Clefairy. Then comes her ace, Miltank. The cow flinches Jones before hitting him with Attract. But Jones isn't blinded by his love, so he hits Miltank with his boosted Brick Break, knocking her out in one hit. Jones is too good. We can now head towards Ecruteak City before being stopped by a Sudowoodo in the road. This would be an eligible encounter if this were Gen 2 or Gen 3. But because Bonsly exists, Sudowoodo is technically fully evolved now. So Harkness splashes him with water until he gets out of the way, and we head into the city. In town, we meet Bill in the Pokemon Center. He would give us an EV if we head back to Goldenrod, but that little fox is infamous for its ability to evolve. Clearly, it's unworthy of joining this team. But one day, I'll do an Evolutions only run. Let me know what game you'd like to see me play for that. We also meet Team Rocket again. Putting a grunt on ice earns us the HM4 Surf, just in time for some important battles. But before that, we have a few character introductions. You've seen the Beast Hunter and Morty the 4th Gym Leader. We'll see more of them later, but for now, we have to battle Darwinism. Darwin leads with a tiny, underdeveloped ghost. I send out Donna. She deals massive damage with Bite like a teething toddler and knocks it out easily. Bayleaf comes out next, and Donna continues her attack. Bayleaf manages to poison her, but she takes down the Plantosaur with a couple of hits. Third is Zubat, who falls to a single hit of Headbutt. Magnemite is last. Donna hits it with Headbutt before getting confused and falling to about a third. I switch out to Harkness and start trying to rust out the Magnet Pokemon. Thundershock almost knocks her out, but we all know that Jack is immortal after the parting of the ways. So she takes down Donna's last Pokemon with a second blast of Water Gun. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. One last thing before we challenge the gym. We meet the legendary beasts. These Pokemon don't evolve into or from anything, so I will gladly use them in this run, assuming a few specific criteria are met. I'll explain that more later. For now, you're seen as being an incel because the beasts like me. Not my fault you stood up top and ogled them instead of introducing yourself, dude. Morty leads with a tiny, underdeveloped ghost, and I lead with Donna. Weird, this all seems so familiar. Anyway, I start by setting up a substitute. This messes with most trainers' AI, especially when they want to set up a status. So now Donna can freely rip through Morty's entire team with Bite. I also use Leer a handful of times on his 2-Haunter and his Gengar, but they exclusively try to use status moves. This was barely worth showing, but we have our 4th badge. Now we can head toward Olivine City. Twice we run into Tauros, but neither has Intimidate, so they're not worth my time. Hopefully this doesn't bite me in the butt. For our next capture, we go on a little side quest. Backtracking to Azalea Town, we return to Union Cave and spelunk our way to the basement. There, on Fridays only, you can find a wild Lapras chilling in the pond. I capture her and name her Bill Potts. She's my favorite Gen 1 Ice type, and this is probably the best Easter egg in Heart Gold SoulSilver. So, I'll add her to the team when I rotate the roster here in a moment. We then return to Olivine City, where we fish until we find a Corsola. His name will be Graham, and he is also joining the team. This gives us glaring weaknesses to fighting and rock, but that's a problem for later. Resuming the plot, we climb the Olivine Lighthouse and meet Jasmine. She sends us off on a fetch quest, so now we're off to Cyanwood City. Once we arrive, we head immediately to the pharmacy to pick up Jasmine's prescription. We then return to deliver it ASAP because we aren't heartless monsters. Speaking of monsters, when we return to Cyanwood, we discover that someone stole a Pokemon from this random guy. To protect his remaining Pokemon, he gives it to us. And we get a Shuckle. I've never used one of these, so this could be fun. Also, I love thinking about how this guy apparently had 2 Pokemon, Sneasel and Shuckle. What a combination. One last errand before I challenge Chuck. I head to Route 48, which is the penultimate location of Tauros. I find one, and he has Intimidate. Perfect. I crit him and catch him, then name him Nardole. Let's head to the gym. I lead with Jones against Chuck's Primeape. I employ the same strategy as against Whitney. Set up with a couple of Swords Dances, then take him down. Chuck makes it incredibly easy by only using Double Team while I set up. Then Aerial Ace negates his evasion traps and brutally beats both of his punchy Pokemon in a single shot. Jones doesn't even take any damage. That's why he's one of the best companions. Before we leave the island, we have 3 small errands to run. First, we have to meet Suicune, who plays hard to get by running away. Second, we have to battle Yucine, but Donna is able to take his team down easily. Crunch one-shots Drowsy before it can do anything. Electrode blows our eardrums and then tries to electrocute us. 2 punches take down the ball, but Donna gets paralyzed by static. This doesn't slow us down, as Donna never gets fully paralyzed. Then, against Haunter, Yucine cuts his own HP with Curse, making our victory even easier. Nice try, dude. Last, we head to the wetlands in the Safari Zone. We run around until we find a Farfetch'd, our next encounter, but it pops out of a Safari Ball and flees immediately. Well, duck you too. It's time to challenge Jasmine. I'm so confident here that I don't even level up at all after beating Chuck. Once again, Jones is up to bat. He boosts his attack as usual and gets paralyzed by a Thunder Wave. But a held Cherry Berry heals that immediately, allowing Jones to knock out both Magnemite with Brick Break. This leaves Jasmine with her ace, Steelix. It survives the boosted stab super effective Brick Break and heals with a Citrus Berry. But she misses her only chance to deal damage with Iron Tail, letting Jones take down another gym leader without taking any damage. With the 6th badge in hand, the level cap goes down, and we replace Rose with Nardole. Let's head to Mahogany Town. On the way, we find Raikou. So here's the thing. If I can catch this, I will absolutely use it. But I only get one shot at each of Raikou and Entei. So if I mess this up, I don't get Raikou at all in this challenge. So I chuck a quick ball at it, and it breaks free. It runs away, forever to remain, the one that got away. North of Mahogany, we find a Girafarig. This time, the quick ball works, and I name her River Song. She's going on the team for sure. We then visit the Lake of Rage and challenge the discolored Gyarados. But Bill Potts' Perish Song seals the Serpent's fate immediately. I just have to remember to switch out before Bill gets a hole blasted through her torso and then turn into a Cyberman. Luckily, I avoid that exact circumstance, earning us the Red Scale, which we immediately trade to Mr. Pokemon for the experience share, just in time for the Rocket Hideout. This culminates in battles with Executives Petrol and Ariana, but neither stood a chance against River Song. Plus, we're battling them again very soon, so I'll show those battles. It's time to challenge Price. Care to guess what my strategy is? You guessed it, Swords Dance and Brick Break sweep with Jones. This does fail against Piloswine thanks to Seal lowering Jones' speed. So then I switch to Bill Potts and re-extinct this mammoth with a Flash Flood. As we leave the gym, Elm calls us to let us know that we need to return to Goldenrod City to finish up the villainous team plot in the game. So let's do that. First, we have to take down Petrol again, this time with a team full of coughing, which is a weird change for a boss to have, but whatever. River Song one-shots all the coughing and nearly does the same to the wheezing. I could have given her the choice specs to make it even easier, but I only thought of that around coughing number 3. We then fight Proton and Ariana as well, but Bill Potts quickly puts all of their Pokemon on ice with some choice specs boosted ice beams. See? I learned something. Last is the interim Team Rocket boss, Archer, but I still have Bill. Specs boosted Surfs wash away his entire team before they can deal any damage to her. No wonder the police didn't handle this themselves. These buffoons weren't even worth their tax-funded time. With Team Rocket disbanded, we can resume the final leg of our journey. In the Ice Path, we find Delibird. This isn't a good Pokemon, but she's an eligible encounter. So we capture her, name her Dan Lewis, and condemn her to an eternity in the PC. We arrive in Blackthorn City for our final gym battle, but we have to make a quick detour. We visit Route 45 and run around until we find our next encounter, Skarmory. I ended up using repel manipulations to make it easier, so that's why Adam is leading. I catch Skarmory and name him Wilfred. With that done, let's challenge Claire. I lead with River Song holding the choice specs against her Gyarados. A single hit of Psychic takes it down before it can do anything more than intimidate her. Dragonair comes out and survives the same hit of Psychic. She then paralyzes River with a Thunder Wave, so I swap out for Bill Potts. Ice Beam then takes down both of Claire's Dragonair in rapid succession. This leaves her with Kingdra. Bill tanks a Dragon Pulse and then sings a perilous song. Our victory assured, I paralyze Kingdra with Body Slam and weaken her with Ice Beam. Our perish counts are down to 1, so I swap Bill out for Jones. But Kingdra only spews some smoke before succumbing to Perish Song. With our 8th badge in hand, we can head off to more important adventures. We run around until we find the roaming Entei. Thanks to Elm, I have a Master Ball now, which I use to capture the legendary beast. Their name is Ryan, and I'm totally adding them to the team. We then head to Route 47 and use Waterfall to find a new patch of grass. There, we find and catch a Miltank named Yasmin. Next, we return to the Ecruteak Dance Theater, where we have to beat the Gauntlet of Kimono Girls. First, Bill Potts takes down Umbreon with a few hits of Ice Beam, though she takes more damage than I would have liked. Second, Bill drowns Espeon with Surf, but that battle leaves her with only 26 points remaining. Third, Ryan goes toe-to-toe with Flareon. Their moveset is pretty garbage, so they have to curb stomp the Fiery Puppy. This works, but Ryan falls to 3 HP in the process. Third is Jolteon, who chooses to spam Double Team when he could have electrocuted my Beetle. This gives Jones the opportunity to punch the Spiky Puppy a couple of times. And last is River Song, quickly electrocuting Vaporeon, only taking damage from a single quick attack. Defeated, the girls then meet us deep within the Whirl Islands. They do a little dance and ring the title bell to summon Lugia. Just like you should ring the notification bell to see my videos when they debut. Did that work? Did I win YouTube? Or did I just lose the game? Anyway, Lugia time. We try a Quick Ball, but that fails immediately. I then paralyze them and weaken them with a boosted Surf. I can't hit them again, so I try a Dusk Ball. And it works. I name them Clara, and that's my final encounter for this run. At least before the league. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you think I shouldn't use Lugia and Entei. With all the big plot stuff done, we are now in Kanto to fight Darwin one last time before the Pokemon League. Jones dispatches Sneasel with Brick Break, River defeats both Golbat and Haunter with Psychic. Meganium is fourth, and he survives a Flamethrower from Ryan. A second hit burns Meganium to a crisp. Kadabra disables Flamethrower and survives one bite, thanks to Meganium's earlier Reflect. After Kadabra falls, Magneton is last. With no fire moves and half HP, Ryan tags out for River Song. She gets paralyzed and takes a bunch of sparks, but she still takes down the Magnet with a couple of Psychics. With Evolution defeated for good, we grind up and head into the Pokemon League. Here's the team as we enter. First of the Elite Four is Will. I send out Jones against Xatu. Jones boosts his attack with Swords Dance while Xatu tries to confuse him. But Jones fights through the confusion to take down both of Will's Xatu. But when Jinx comes out, Jones finally hits himself before Jinx kisses him and puts him to sleep. Ryan then tags in to defeat Jinx with a single bite. Wilfred then easily defeats the incoming Slowbro, scoring a critical hit with Night Slash. Last is Exeggutor, who falls to Clara's Aeroblast. Some other stuff happened in there, but it was just swapping around and burning his potions. Koga and Bruno didn't stand a chance. Clara blasts through the former's entire team with a combination of Extrasensory and Aeroblast. Most of his Pokemon survive the first hit, but then only boost their evasion, which never seems to bother Clara. And Jones juices himself with Swords Dance before quickly dispatching all of Bruno's fighting Pokemon. And his Onix. Last is Karen, who is easily the most difficult of the four. I should do a challenge run with her team someday. Anyway, her first Pokemon is a tanky Umbreon. I lead with Donna, who confuses her AI with a substitute. Umbreon keeps trying to confuse us, allowing Donna to burn one of Karen's full restores. The substitute also lets Donna use Focus Punch freely, which she does to take down the best of the evolutions. Second is Gengar. She fires off a Focus Blast, obliterating Donna's Stuffy. She retaliates with Crunch, nearly defeating the Ghost. I then swap to Clara, who would tank Focus Blast easily, but Gengar just misses, allowing Clara to take them down with an Extrasensory. Third is Murkrow, who is immediately blown away by Aeroblast. Fourth is Houndoom. This pup somehow survives a Hydro Pump, healing back to half with her Citrus Berry. But she only sets up a nasty plot before another hit from the eagle-eyed Clara washes her away. Karen's final Pokemon is a Vileplume, who is also easily dispatched with Aeroblast. Legendary Pokemon can be pretty dope. That just leaves Lance, and he's been waiting for us, presumably since we single-handedly took down Team Rocket. Though he erroneously calls himself the most powerful trainer, he is a worthy opponent to end the league. So let's see how many of our Pokemon can survive. Lance starts with Gyarados, and I choose Clara. Aeroblast deals massive damage, but Lance gets the 10% chance to freeze with Ice Fang. What nonsense. For some reason, he switches to using Flail on the next turn, which is a much worse move. This gives Clara time to thaw out and wipe out the rest of his HP. This brings an Aerodactyl, but I have just the Mon for the job. Wilfred swoops in, tanks Rock Slide and Thunderfang, then OHKOs the Pterosaur with Steel Wing. I also just realized that Lance has all 3 elemental things on his team. Wilfred naturally provokes Charizard to come out, finishing the elemental trinity. He even attacks with Fire Fang, but a switch to Ryan mitigates that. Ryan then does what they do best, curb stomps the pseudo dragon. They score a clutch flinch on the first hit, which spells victory for our speedy beastie. And that just leaves Lance with Dragonite. I switch to Donna first, but she takes way too much damage from Dragon Rush. So I panic swap to Bill, who manages to dodge a hit. She then takes a ton of damage from Thunder before freezing Elliot to death with Ice Beam. An Elliot remake then comes out and hits with Dragon Rush. Bill survives the hit and repeats the ending to the previous one. But then a third Elliot comes out and Bill can't stay in. But nothing can take an outrage from this monster. Except for Clara. They come in, tank the hit, and strike back with their own Dragon Rush. This deals massive damage, by which I mean barely half before the Citrus Berry undoes most of the work. This lets Dragonite finish off Lugia, leaving the seas completely unguarded. But there is hope for our motley crew yet. Dragonite is confused, so I send Bill back in for one final appearance, just like in Twice Upon a Time. Dragonite hits himself in confusion, allowing her to score one final KO with Ice Beam, winning the battle and the run. Clara is inducted into the Hall of Fame posthumously, but the rest of the team gets to live the remainder of their lives in stardom. We save the game and say goodbye to the crew. Until the sequel. Seriously though, let me know if you want to see me challenge Kanto. I have a plan for it, but only if you want to see it. There are tons of cool new encounters unlocked once I get the national dex. But that's it for this video. I had a lot of fun making this. It took me very little time compared to some of my other projects. I find that Gens 3, 4, and 5 tend to go very quickly, so I might do a lot more of those so I can get videos out more consistently. But I've had this idea in my mind for a long time, so I'm glad this one was picked. But speaking of projects, let me forecast a little bit of what the next few videos of mine will likely be. So you have this video. I know around Christmas time I'm going to release a video. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to be. The voting is still kind of going on my X randomizer Nuzlocke video, but I have a pretty good idea what that one's going to be. I have a New Year's video planned in Pokemon X and Y again. But then definitely I'm going to do black with monotypes very, very soon. That's been in 2 of the last 3 polls for people to vote for my next video, and that's been kind of popular, so I'm definitely going to do that as soon as possible. That might come out before Christmas, that might come out after the new year. We'll see. But it is coming very soon, so let me know in the comments down below which starter I should use for that, as I asked you to do earlier in the video. And then after that, after New Year's, in my New Year's video, I think I might focus a little bit more on this big project that I have in mind, the Master Challenge, where I try to beat Pokemon Fire Red with every single Pokemon in the Pokedex. It's kind of like a Professor Oak's challenge on steroids. It's going to be a lot of work, and so I may take a brief hiatus or may work on it for a week, then do another project, and then just do that until it's done. We'll kind of see how the videos go for the rest of the year and what my schedule looks like going into the spring with my wife, with the girls, with my full-time job. But I'm excited for these projects. I'm excited to keep doing YouTube. Maybe one day it'll become a career. I also am looking into starting a shop on Shopify or Etsy, maybe selling a little bit of stickers or something. So let me know if there's any cool merch ideas you have, like coffee mugs, t-shirts, hats, beanies, whatever. My wife does graphic design work, so she can do some designing of that for me. And I'm really excited. But that's going to be it for me. If you're still watching, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Let me know that you like it, and make sure you're subscribed, because that does help me out. That does encourage me and keep me motivated to do my work, and makes me one step closer to doing this for a career when I can release content maybe every week, every other week. But thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next video. Later, nerds.